Hey, welcome back, Riley, to another episode of Max and Ollie's Party Rental Podcast.
Great to be here, Jim. We've been doing this for a little bit now.
Are you impressed? I got the name first try, and I didn't read your shirt.
I am super impressed. Yeah. That is a first.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is a tongue twister.
It's a tongue twister. I know we've been kind of covering a lot of different ideas and subjects over the last few weeks, and we came up with a really interesting topic tonight. Safety should probably be your number one goal. I thought it would be fitting if we went ahead and just simply kind of reviewed some safety rules, and more importantly, kind of give some explanation behind them, because they're not just arbitrary rules.
Right. There's a reason behind each one.
Exactly. So, why don't you start? What's the first rule of you rent a bounce house?
Sure. So to specify, this is bounce house rules, safety guidelines. Correct?
Correct.
For the bouncy houses. All right. So rule number 1, no shoes in the bouncy house.
No shoes. Real simple, because the bottom rubber soles of the shoes can get caught. Tripping, things like that. They're kind of cumbersome a little bit.
Right.
So, real important to take those shoes off, set them on the side.
Makes sense. Makes complete sense. I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah, not to mention, somebody's bouncing around and, gets kicked. Getting kicked.
Right, kicked, stepped on.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. So no shoes in the bounce house.
Yeah.
What do you got for number 2?
All right, number 2 is a real simple one. No sharp objects. All right.
Please, no sharp objects.
Yes.
If you're jumping around and you have keys in your pocket, there's a good chance of 2 things happening. Number 1, you could get seriously hurt. You could impale yourself with keys.
Absolutely.
Number 2, it could pop the bounce.
So, yes, we want to definitely make sure there's no sharp objects. Mm-hmm. And so what do you got for number 3?
Number 3, no glasses. Glasses are expensive. Don't break your glasses in the bounce.
Yeah, so they fall off. Some you got kids bouncing around.
Yep, you're on the ground trying to grab your glasses. Next thing you know, somebody jumps on your head.
Or somebody jumps on your glasses and impales themselves with the corner of it. It's something that's happened.
Yep.
No glasses.
Yep, definitely.
And then that leads into the next one, no jewelry.
Yep, same exact reasons as the last 2, sharp object glasses.
Yeah, they're all no-brainers, or maybe they're not as common sense as we would think, but definitely just things you want to think about.
Yep.
Before you're letting your kids or anybody jumping inside of the bounce house.
Yeah, this isn't just kids. Let's make sure that's 100% clear. This is everybody.
Right.
There's no exceptions here.
So what's your next one?
The next one on our list is no food or drink on the bounce house.
Yeah, exactly, because you're bouncing around with a Pepsi and a burrito, and it's going to make an absolute mess. And cleaning that up is just awful.
Right. It's going to be terrible mess-wise, but also it's a big choking hazard. You cannot be eating and jumping at the same time. It's unbelievably dangerous.
Yes, we want to make sure you're safe that way. The next one is a really important one that's often overlooked. It's no unevenly matched players. Okay, so let me describe that real quick. You've got your 4, 5, 6-year-old, and then you've got your 15-year-old, and they're all bouncing together. Now let's go ahead. The 6-year-old is weighing in at 60 pounds, and your 16-year-old is 160 pounds. So why it's so important that you keep everybody that's jumping pretty well evenly matched is because when that 160 pounds lands on that 60-pounder, things can break. And so it's just so important that we make sure that the players or the people that are jumping are evenly matched.
Right. And this, as previously said, this doesn't just go for kids. This goes for adults and their little ones as well.
Yeah. So just imagine you're on an 18-foot slide, and you put your 3-year-old on your lap, or your 4-year-old on your lap, and you're going to go down together. Again, you got all that force sliding down that slide.
Yeah. Not a good idea.
Yeah.
Not safe.
Yeah. So we want to make sure we keep everybody the same size.
Definitely.
All right. So what's your next one?
No rough play.
Easy enough. So
should be no confusion there. No tackling, no WWE wrestling moves in the bounce house. you don't want to break an arm, break a leg.
Yep. So that's an easy one, and that just leads right into no tumbling or flipping.
Yep.
So you want to,
I've seen it so many times where somebody who is comfortable flipping on a trampoline gets on a bounce house and expects the same thing, the same sort of bounce, jumping up and over, but when they go to jump up, it doesn't bounce nearly as much. You don't get nearly as much height. And you come down pretty quickly on your head with your knees coming towards your face.
Yep. So we just want to be careful. Your next one is?
Next one on the list is no medical conditions.
Right. So it makes complete sense, or at least you would think. Hey, if you got back problems, you probably don't want to be bouncing a moon bounce.
Mm-hmm.
You probably don't want to be hitting a slip and slide or a water slide or anything like that.
Right.
You got to self-monitor yourself.
Yep.
But which goes right into no pregnancy. We want to make, if you're pregnant, you probably stay off this thing. It's definitely not safe.
Right. 100%. It's a self-awareness thing there. If you don't want to be putting yourself or anybody else in danger.
No, exactly. So, we're almost done. What else do you got?
Yeah. So coming down in the final stretch here, make sure you're following the number of people who are advised to be inside of the bounce.
So where you're going to see that is on the side of every moon bounce or any inflatable that you're in, there is going to be a tag, and the tag is going to probably list every one of the safety rules that we kind of reviewed tonight.
Yep.
And on that tag, it's going to say, hey, you know what? Hey, guys, only 4 people in at a time, or only 6 people in at a time. So you want to make sure that you're following that rule. They put that rule there for a reason, so we want to make sure we follow it.
Yep. Very well said.
And what do you got for the next one?
Next two are pretty similar. Number 1, follow the height requirements.
Yeah, height, and then the last one is follow the weight.
Yep.
So once again, on that little tag, it's going to say, hey, you know what? 40 pounds is your minimum, and 175 pounds your maximum, 200 pounds your maximum, 250 pounds, whatever it is. You want to make sure that you follow those guidelines.
Yep, the guidelines are all there for a reason. It's not just to be stingy and to be fun killers. They're there to keep people safe.
Right. And the last thing anybody wants is you're throwing a party, everybody's having a great time, and you had some kids roughhousing inside the moon bounce, and somebody walks out with a bloody nose, or banging heads, and somebody's what all of the things that could possibly happen. And
the list goes on.
Yeah. So your party kind of comes to a screeching halt.
Right.
So, there you go. There's just some quick guidelines on what you should do.
Definitely. Like you had said before, safety is 100% our main priority. It should be your main priority. It should be everybody's top priority when it comes to anything of this sort.
That kind of wraps up this episode of Max and Ollie's Party Rental Podcast.
You've been practicing, haven't you?
I have. I have. So I'm Jim.
My name is Riley.
And we are Max and Ollie's Party Rental Podcast.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
Thanks.